Alright, Dad, we're currently live.
Alright. Should we put my speaking down?
Your speaking valve is on. Yeah, your speaking valve's already on, Dad.
Thank you.
Nobody's on yet that I can see. Okay. So when people jump on, I'll let you know, Dad. Dad, you look so sad in the picture. Okay, so far nobody's on right now. Although doesn't mean that we can't talk, because either way this gets put on a replay. So if anyone wanted to see it that missed it, they can watch it. Yeah. So what was one of the first shows that you worked on, Dad? When you first got into the industry?
$1 Million Duck
The $1 Million Duck?
with Sandy Duncan.
Sandy Duncan.
And then
What was it like working with Sandy Duncan? Let me get the microphone.
with
Go
a,
ahead and talk, Dad.
with a capital W. She was wonderful. And she was cute as a bug's ear.
You still talking about Sandy Duncan?
Yep. She wasn't pretentious. She wasn't stuck up. She was still a real person. Didn't get caught up with her publicity and stardom, unlike the rest quit.
Now, was that a movie or a TV show, The $1 Million Duck?
Movie.
That was a movie? Okay. And Loretta Swit, that was MASH, right? Was that
Right,
the next thing after $1 Million Duck, or was that
No,
something else?
that was about the third one. I was on the feature, the movie. God, that was a lot of fun.
Now, were you first on the TV show MASH or on the movie?
TV show. Movie. But I was only there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
After that, they put me, Skippy McDonald. She was the secretary who would assign the text to certain shows. I was lucky enough that she took a shine to me.
So, MASH was your first big thing that you did?
Yeah, with Herman Lewis, the sound mixer.
And what was that like with working with the crew and of course these big stars at that time?
It was still all strange and wonderful, fascinating, hard work. And long hours.
What kind of hours did you used to work?
We, when we were filming at Fox Ranch, that's where MASH was made. It was 12 to 6, 12 to 8. Those were the starting working hours. The actual time spent was about 14 hours, which I was not used to.
So you got to work with most of the stars first on the TV show.
Yeah. And then they liked me. So when the feature was over and they wanted to make a series of it with Ellen Elda, they thought of my name.
And that's what got you on the movie? Now how was that different? Was this your first movie? Like, that was a pretty big movie at the time.
All the hours were basically the same, but the travel time was a lot shorter. When we were filming for the movie, I would drive from North Pasadena to Fox Ranch. Then they'd have us parked there in the parking lot that was guarded like Fort Knox. They didn't want any hikers coming in and ruining the shot in case they were filming. Then on the off season, I would work on car commercials. I got to work with Rex Harrison. Probably don't remember him. He was from My Fair Lady, Dr. Doolittle.
I remember all those people, Dad. So what was it like working with the actual actors for MASH, like Loretta Swit,
Well, it was
Ellen Elda?
on the set. We secretly called her Loretta's bitch.
Obviously, she wasn't a nice woman and hard to work with.
Very. And she was constantly calling for the producer, which did not make them happy because they had to work on the following shows. She was mean to work with. Even harder to put a radio mic on. Eventually, I just gave the microphone to the wardrobe mistress and said, "You can hassle with her. I don't want to."
What about the rest of the crew? Ellen Elda. Who else worked on it?
They avoided her like you would AIDS. They didn't want to have anything to do with her. The only thing she had going for her was the color of her hair And what a pair of legs. Beautiful looking legs. Whenever we filmed out at the Fox Ranch, that's the first thing she would do. Would put on these shorty shorts.
Daisy Dukes.
And a couple of times she didn't even bother doing that. She put on panties with her pantyhose.
Okay, let's move on to some other actors, Dad. You worked with more than one on that show.
Yeah.
What about the guys?
By the way, Loretta couldn't act herself out of a paper bag. But if you'll notice, you don't see her very much. Not at all.
Yeah. Okay, again, moving on, Daddy. You worked with more than one person on that show. What was it like
yes.
working with all the guys? Who was your favorite?
Well, my old boss, Steve Bass.
Well, naturally.
My least favorite? Herman Lewis. Tried getting a 4 o'clock in the morning crew call on stage 8 with an idiot. Oh, that's not professional.
Okay,
Not a very nice person.
What about the other actors, Dad?
Well, I'm still stuck on Herman Lewis.
Okay, Dad.
Smoking a
A
cigar
lot of these
at
people don't
4
really know
a.m.
who those people are.
They were the sound mixers.
Okay. All right, Dad. Now moving on. What other shows from there did you work on? You obviously were still on the 20th Century Fox set back then.
Right.
So what other shows and movies did you do?
Oh, Charlie's Angels. Family. Fun show was Dukes of Hazzard.
I bet that was a lot of action.
A lot of wrecked cars. You'd drive up in a van, passing by about between 10, 17. Once I saw 20 cars. Just totaled.
Okay, Dad, we got 10 people in here now. We're going to stop and say hi to some of these people.
Hi there.
So, hi Net Dragon, Star Cop. Hi Ed. Daywan Gray, Trek Lady C. Let's see who else is in here. Hi Jacqueline. Side Alone, welcome to the stream. And I believe, did I already get you, Net Dragon? Thanks for joining in, guys. A couple of people had asked if they could do a Q&A with my dad because he worked on a lot of movies between the 60s and the 80s. And he worked on a lot of great shows and movies between that time. A lot of them were Aaron Spelling Productions, which were pretty much all of the 70s and 80s shows right there. And in between, he did movies, and in between that, he said he did a lot of commercials. So, let's see here. Daywan Gray said he grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard.
That was a fun show.
Was that a great bunch to work with there?
Yeah, they had about 5 mechanics that kept their cars running. Because in the shows, you would see them doing what they call whoop-de-doos. Going up a short hill and launching the vehicle into the air. That was a costly shot because when that vehicle came down on the ground,
Can you guys hear him at all?
just could buy some of the components. What?
Go ahead, keep talking.
So the shock
Talk about
absorber
Dukes of
springs.
Hazzard.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Star Cop. Keep going, Dad. Guys are hearing you just fine.
Okay. Again, a fun show. David Soul. What a practical joker. When we were filming on stage, for instance, he would fill up a 5-gallon bucket of water, take it up on the parallels. Now the parallels were where they kept the lights plugged into these holes on the edge of the planks. 1x4s, 1x6s. Anyway, during rehearsals, he would very quietly and very sneaky disappear from the set. And then the next thing you know it, some crew member was wearing 5 gallons of cold water on him.
And who was that, Dad, that used to do
David Toll.
that? David Soul.
Well, we got even with that practical joker. We put Vaseline on the toilet seat. And we glued the toilet paper with white glue. And the words that came out of that man's mouth made us laugh so hard. Came close to wetting ourselves.
Was it always
But it was that way.
joking around on sets?
Yeah.
What other sets did you used to joke around with the actors with?
I have to say it. It was a feature that was on, I was on and we were filming that night. It was night shooting. Because we started just outside the stage. Then when we were through filming that segment, we all went in. They were having a party next door. And we wanted to go to the party too. Bunch of booze and women and actors. We liked working with. That was great.
If any of you guys have any questions for my dad, please feel free to ask. Hi there, 616. Hi, Fanta Soda. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so Dad, Net Dragon would like to know, what was it like working with Ellen Elda on MASH?
I love that guy. He was so cool. Maybe it's only because he always laughed at my jokes. And one evening, when Lenny Smith, the assistant director, he loved to give bad news to the crew. And right after lunch, he gathered us all together and said, "Guess what? We're gonna have to stay late tonight." And we were all tired. We had started at 6 morning filming, which meant crew calls were at 4 a.m. And when they called lunch, it was an hour and 42 minutes long. no one knows what happened to Alan Alda. He was there when lunch was over, and we were filming, and then we had a long 6-page scene with Larry Linville. And
Don't get distracted.
he got,
What's it like working with Alan Alda?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Now, he went to his khaki army shirt, unbuttoned it, pulled out a small bottle by about this big, opened it up, and oh my God, it was rotten eggs. It was sulfur. And we all wanted to go home, but we're looking at 11:30, 12:30. So he said, I'll get us home. So all he did was put 2 drops on the platform of the sound boom. That's the big platform in which they had attached the microphone to, so they could roll it out further, ideally over the cameras, and turn the microphone every which way. But when he did that for the sulfur, it was so bad, guys. It chased us all out of the stage. Needless to say, it was a wrap, which meant time to quit and go home. We were all happy about that. Anyway, Alden Alda had left the bottle on the boom where I was on. And I got blamed for that because Lenny Smith wanted to blame somebody and make him look like an angel. And if he would just act like a real human being, because he was a likable fellow. But it seemed that he went out of his way to be dislikable. But anyway, to get back to Alan Alda, oh yeah. And whenever I told Alan a joke, oh, he would laugh. I liked his laugh. He introduced me to his whole family. Told me how he met his wife, Elizabeth. Wonderful person. In fact, his daughters all took a like to me because I would let them sit on the platform of the boom when we were filming, and that was right next to the camera. So they were right up in front of where all the action was. Those were the best times of my life. 9 years we worked on MASH. When we went down for the season, they informed everyone they were going to lay off, but they were not going to carry anyone, meaning nobody got paid except for the principals. Now, we're not talking about a school here. This is talking about a movie show. So anyway, Steve Bass was carried. All the heads of the various departments, lighting, camera, wardrobe, makeup, hair, they were carried. But I wasn't. I was off and unemployed. But Skippy McDonald, oh bless that woman's heart. Wonderful woman. One day I'll gotta tell you about her. Anyway, her and her southern accent with a tell you what. Wonderful. But she was not happy that they weren't going to carry me. To be truthful, nor was I. But I figured it was part of the business. Because I was still rather new to all of this. By the way, I put in over 20 years and over 2,500 hours of work. That's a lot of hours. But getting back, Skippy called Alan Alda, and Alan went to Steve, my immediate boss, and told him that I wasn't going to be carried and that there was a good chance when we started up I wouldn't be around because he said Universal was interested in hiring me.
NetDragon would like to know if you still watch MASH.
Yeah, but sometimes I get watery-eyed watched it because it reminds me of the good times. It also reminds me of the bad times, but the good times are way more than the bad times.
What are some of the other shows that you enjoyed working on throughout the years? Can you name a few?
There was Rollout. That was a
Like
semi.
Love Boat, Fantasy Island.
That too. Love Boat was great because they'd have the
You got to work with a lot of
actors.
on Love Boat and Fantasy Island. A lot of special guests every week.
Yep.
What was that like? Any favorites?
Oh, I can't think of her name right now, but she used to say coochie coochie.
Charo.
That.
Charo. Yeah, Charo was on there quite a few times.
She
At
was a
least several times throughout the years.
real dingbat. But she was smart as.
It says the plane.
Yeah.
Hi,
Oh,
Care
now.
Bear.
Oh,
Hi, Rafal.
on Fantasy
Hi, Alvin.
Island, he would joke around there with the little guy, Herbie Velazquez. What kind of M&Ms did Ricardo Montalban like? Deep playing. And I was there when Ricardo had jump on him when he produced a gun threatening to shoot an electrician. He actually fired the pistol, but thank God his aiming wasn't worth a damn. Thank God. and he wrestled the pistol away from Herbie.
Didn't you work, talking about pistols, didn't you work on Chico and the Man?
Chico. Yes, I did. One whole day, I I worked being a minority. You always got the shit end of the stick. And whenever they needed anyone in a hurry for temporary work, they would give me a call. That's why I worked so often, because mixers got to know me and they liked me, and they would ask for me again. Like on the Waltons. Bill, oh, great guy. He died of cancer. And we worked with, I can't think of the guy with the huge mole on his chin. But that was a good, fun show to work on. One of the part-time actors, his name was Will. He would sit down and start talking about the silent era when cameras were still being operated with a hand crank. The whole crew would sit fascinated by this man's story, and the assistant directors, whose part of the job was to keep the crew working so that we'd finish on time, and if we did any overtime, it was at a minimum. Didn't always work out that way, but that's what they, if this were a perfect world, that's what would happen. A lot of fun.
Who are some of your favorite actors that you've worked with throughout the years? Ones that really stick on the top of your head that you just really enjoyed working with?
Alan Alda, Linda Carter. Oh, what
Tell
a
them some stories about
beautiful.
Linda Carter, Daddy. You guys, Dad got to work on Wonder Woman.
The original series. That woman doesn't have a flaw in her body. Oh, and what a personality. God, what a woman. And a pair of legs to die for. And she could wear that outfit. When we first started on the show there, I had only worked on that show for 3 days, but the sound mixer was having a hell of a problem with the microphones because of all the action scenes we were working. That microphone that was right at her
Cleavage.
cleavage. I'm getting old.
That's where you would hide the microphone. In her cleavage.
Run the microphone cable out her small of her back down to her butt and hide the transmitter in her left leg. And she used to wear the tall boots with it, and we had a clip on the transmitter. But she was wonderful to work with. I I heard some of the stories about her, and I'm here to tell you now, not one of them was true, except she was a beautiful lady and a professional. It just goes to show you, you can be a professional at your craft, but you don't have to put down the rest of the crew or anything like that. We once worked on a show, a series called Hotel, and we worked with Shelley Winters. Not once did she go on the set sober. She was just a rough lady to work with. Not nice at all.
Okay, somebody, Net Dragon would like to know if you ever worked on the TV show Emergency.
Yes, we did at Universal Studios, where the swimming pool was, which was kind of nice. And that day I wore my shorts. And when they called lunch, it was so hot during the day. It was in the 3 digits, about 99, 101. And it was just plain hot. So when they called lunch, most of the crew ended up in the pool. Now, we only had a 42 lunch. It was only 42 minutes, but we took well over an hour. He was good to work with. And worked with Martin Milner on Adam 12. And we had great times. We had long hours, but we had great times. And there was joking around, laughing. On the series MASH, we once
Now, Dad, I know just recently a movie called Death Wish came out. Didn't you work on that original movie with Charles Bronson?
Yeah. He was not a
What was
nice.
it like working with Charles Bronson, Dad?
He was a loner. Most people didn't want to have a damn thing about with him. But then, when you think back, when I first worked with him on a movie called Telephone, we went to Russia.
So you worked with him on Telephone?
Yeah.
Did you work on any other ones?
With him? No. It was pretty rough. He got a message from his wife that she had breast cancer on both sides, and they gave her 2 months to live. Well, needless to say, Charles Bronson said to hell with everyone. Hopped in the plane, went back to the States, and we were just left there twiddling our thumbs. Didn't know whether he was coming back. He wouldn't answer any of his phone calls. So my friends and I took some time off, jumped on the Orient Express, went into Russia, which I don't recommend using the toilet paper there. It's not finely processed like it is over here in the States. When you see Russian toilet paper, you can see the splinters, and you have to learn how to use that toilet paper and wipe yourself clean. Otherwise, it's a trip to the hotel doctor with a pair of tweezers. And it didn't feel good, guys. By the way, the cheapest thing over there was vodka. I was never much of a drinker, but man, I saw Russians put away vodka like they were drinking bottled water. So this one guy finished a whole quart of vodka, got up, and if I had done it, I would have fallen flat on my face. No, he got up and strode over to the restaurant side of the hotel. And he looked so cute.
And Net Dragon would like you to tell them something embarrassing about me when I was growing up.
She used to take your underwear off.
Dad, not like that.
See, you turn red. It was an embarrassing moment. Then we'd wonder what she did with them.
Dad.
She finally stopped doing it. That's the only real embarrassing thing. Do with that information as you want.
Yes, I did ask the question because Net Dragon asked the question, Ed. I didn't think Dad would go there, though.
Yeah, but Daddy's...
Robert Fuller. Have you ever worked with Robert Fuller? Let's see. What other shows did you work on? Let me see. Greatest American Hero?
I worked on Adam 12 series.
Daddy's the Greatest American Hero with Robert Culp.
God. You know, Robert Culp used to like to eat dog food all day long. The dried dog food. Because of the... He always claimed that dried dog food was healthier. So that's what he would eat. He'd always end up putting fist fights. One day on a movie of the week, he chose the wrong guy. He thought he was badass. Went up to the director, made him pissed. And the director told him, "You sure you want to do this? Because I'll sweep the floor with you." So he said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one punch." And that's all he did was punch. He stood there. It was a hard punch.
Okay,
Didn't
Dad.
phase him.
Alvin would like to know if you ever worked on any shows like Green Acres, Leave It to Beaver, or The Little Rascals.
Gee, guys, I'm not that old.
Green Acres with Eva Gabor, was it? Or was it Jaja?
The comedian.
Ava was the nice one? Or was
Oh,
it
she
Jaja?
was friendly as hell.
Jaja was the mean one? Or stuck up?
A little taken up with herself.
Yes, Sly Dad. Robert Culp used to eat dog biscuits on the set.
Oh, yeah. He'd gnaw at him, and you would have thought he was eating popcorn.
Hi, Butch.
Now, he finally stopped eating it when the director hit his Purina dog chow bag.
Okay, Paul would like to know if you got to work on the streets of San Francisco with Michael Douglas.
No, I worked on shows in San Francisco in, what was it again? Cocaine and Blue Eyes. Hell of a title with O.J. Simpson. When he was still a really nice guy. And his beautiful wife. She was gorgeous. But not as nice as Linda Carter.
Linda Carter was your favorite?
Still is. Sandy Youngkin was nice to work with, too. Steve McQueen was great.
Steve McQueen? You got to work with Steve McQueen? Oh,
on-
wow. What was that like? What movies or TV shows did you work with him?
On a feature called Towering Inferno.
Oh, that was a great movie with Paul Newman, too. Actually, wasn't O.J. Simpson on that one, too?
Yes, he was a fireman. But Paul Newman was great. So was Steve McQueen. And Paul Newman always made sure that this huge water cooler had cans of Coors,
Hi, Kirk.
ice cold.
Okay, Alvin would like to know if you got to work on Chips or Firehouse Rescue or Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son did 2 days. It was good. Straight work. Hard, but good.
Oh, here we go, Daddy. Paul would like to know what it was like to work with Fred Astaire, which I believe you got to work with quite a few times.
Fred is, Twinkle Toes. He was another unpretentious guy. Never took himself seriously. Always a gentleman to man or woman. And he walked like a man had wings. He was so light on his feet. Wardrobe guy once told me that he saw him step on a wad of gum on the ground Never even showed up on his shoes. He was that light. Oh, he was good.
What was it like working with Paul Newman? Didn't you work a couple of times with him also? I know
Yeah.
you did with Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Didn't you do like 2 or 3 movies with Chuck Norris?
Yeah, mom wanted to see him, and we did. It was fun. Uh, I was on the second unit with all the action sequences. And we held the microphone for him. His brother Aaron Norris, he was great to work with. Chuck would not stand for any pretentious acting.
Let's see, you worked on The Octagon, Good Guys Wear Black. Wasn't there one more on there? I can't think of any more.
That was enough. Second unit stuff was just plain hard work. That's part of the reason I'm in the sad shape I'm in now. Long hours and hard work does that to a man. Well,
Okay. NetDragon would like to know, did you ever have to travel to go do your work? Which I could tell you that, NetDragon. My dad was gone for most of my childhood life because he was always at work. Always at work. And if he wasn't at work, he was traveling somewhere. Like, for Southern Comfort, they all had to go to Louisiana and Texas to film that movie. And that was around the time that me and my sisters got the chicken pox. Oh. Stupid thing. Sorry about that.
I stopped traveling when.
Anyways, I got the chicken pox around that time, and me and my sisters were all by ourselves with our mom while Dad was traveling on that particular movie. Dad, what was it like traveling for that particular movie?
At first it was exciting, but after we did all that hard work tramping through the swamps, avoiding the gators, burning off the leeches with a lighter.
What about quicksand?
Oh my
What's
God, I
quicksand like
forgot
that?
about that one, yeah. Just 'cause there's water and there's, let's say, 3 feet deep, you still have to watch where you step. Because there can be quicksand underwater. And it was scary. I fell into one, and Jimmy Utterback, my partner, pulled me up. He was kind of a strong guy. He pulled me up like a rag doll. He said, "You better get behind me." And I told him, "Well, if you fall into quicksand, I'm not going to be able to pull you out." And he tells me, "Just let me go." I guess even then he was having problems at home, unfortunately. Well, I'm getting tired.
Okay, Dad, well, it's been about an hour. All right, guys. Dad's gonna be having his lunch soon, so we're gonna leave it off from here. And thank you guys for coming by. I appreciate the time that you've spent with me and my dad and the questions that you've asked. Captain's going to be coming on in about an hour. So for those of you that are new to my stream, one of my favorite guys, Captain Cook from the Drone Network, is going to be coming on in an hour. And be sure to catch him for all your drone questions and needs. And I want to say thank you to Ed, StarCop, NetDragon, Droner Jones, Wakey RC, Paul, Daywan Gray, Alvin, Earl RC, Ralph Scrapper. Who else do we have in here? Kim, Roger, Jacqueline. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you, Bill. Hi, Bob. Dad's going to be having his lunch, guys. So thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you could do me the pleasure of please hitting that like, I'd appreciate that. And maybe when Dad's feeling a little better, we'll do another one of these, and you guys can ask more questions. I'll have a list by then of the shows that you worked on. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see most of you on Captain's show tonight, okay? All right. Catch you later.